It's past 9 p.m. already, isn't it? I wonder if Mr. Edgeworth has already found Mystic Maya. These things take time. I'd say probably not. The police are professionals, Pearls. They'll find her, so don't you worry. And if we can win a not guilty verdict tomorrow, then everything will be okay. You're right. Why are you sad now? At least you're not crying this time. So the real person who killed Mr. Kurita was that assassin, Mr. Shelley D. Killer, right? And the card Miss Andrews found at the crime scene seems to be proof of that. But if that's the case, then a new question comes to mind. Who was the one that hired the killer to begin with? Who is his client? You mean, who asked for the murder? That person didn't want to dirty their own hands in blood. But whoever this client is, they're still a killer. Who could have hired the assassin? Do you think it was Miss Andrews? No? I wonder. But if she was the client, then why go through the effort to stab the knife into the corpse herself? If Miss Andrews wasn't the client, then no, it can't be. Matt Engarde himself? If Mr. Engarde really did hire the assassin, then he is not innocent at all. Far from it. He'd be guilty of the crime. But it can't be Mr. Engarde, right? I mean, when we first talked with him. Mr. Engarde, I'd like to ask you one more question. Did you kill Mr. Juan Kurita? Alright, just so we're clear, dude. I didn't kill anyone, and that includes Juan Kurita, okay? I didn't see any Cyclops at that time. Maybe because he believed so strongly that he didn't do it, there wouldn't be a Cyclops, right? Actually, that reminds me. Did you remember something, Mr. Nick? Yeah, something Miss Andrews said at the trial today. She said something interesting. So what is this interesting thing? Oh, that's right. You didn't hear it, did you, Pearls? Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year, and if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought, anyway. It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. Mr. Engarde's secret? What is this secret? I don't know yet, but for now let's think about it this way. Mr. Kurita was going to reveal this secret. That means Mr. Engarde had plenty of motive to have Mr. Kurita silenced. Which means we have to meet with Mr. Engarde. There's no way around it now. Alright. I gotta move. Oh no, I have a bad feeling about this. Wow, it's really getting late, isn't it, Mr. Nick? Yeah, it's past 9 p.m. already. But we still have some things to prepare for tomorrow's trial. Take the child home, Phoenix. It's past her bedtime. There's still the matter of this secret Mr. Kurita held about Mr. Engarde, and Miss Andrews' real intentions. These are two things I must know tonight. But aren't visiting hours over at the detention center? I'm sure we'll think of something, Pearls, don't you worry. Yeah, everything will be A-okay. See, I knew this was a bad idea. Phoenix, why didn't you go the other way? Was there no other way to Viola Hall? Was there no way out? Did you just bump into her on purpose? No, don't call for her. She ran away on purpose. Save me. What is it, whippersnapper? All I know is nothing that has anything to do with you is ever good. Like just now, I was handed this strange device for who knows what reason, and I was told to use it to search the whole hotel. That's the bug sweeper, isn't it? The one Gumshoe made. I don't know, and frankly I don't care, but the request came from Edgypoo, so Edgeworth. And he said, if you feel angry, direct your anger at that unsophisticated lawyer. So I'm going to feel free to direct all my anger towards you. Gee, thanks a bundle, Edgeworth. What a pal you are. Why do we have to talk to you? This is absolutely top secret, so you had better keep it to yourselves. I heard they found a spy camera hidden in... Yeah, we know. Very interesting. I'm sure it was, you know. It was to catch poor Juan in the middle of a scandalous meeting. Scandalous? What's that? It means, well, you know, that gossip that's been going around about my dear Juan. Oh, you mean that thing about Miss Andrews? Boy, I'm sure interested in this conversation right now. Yeah, who did it? Oh, was it Lotta? Yeah, that's absolutely wonderful, old guy. No. You heard they found the spike. Oh, shit. I shouldn't have mashed like that. So you want to know about Juan and that manager, right? Actually, as I hear it, they were something of a refreshing pair, those two. Oh, I tell you, Juan really welcomed that manager with open arms, I heard. That manager? Who are you talking about? You don't know? That manager woman Juan had. Oh, Celeste. It's a shame she killed herself, though. No, you're talking about Miss Celeste Impax, Miss Andrews' mentor, right? Yes, that's the one. That Celeste girl. She was supposed to get married, you know? Married? You mean, to Mr. Corrida? Really, you young kids today don't know anything, do you? That girl Celeste killed herself 3 days after their marriage announcement. Jesus. 3 days after their marriage announcement. What in the... Oh no. Why do you keep bringing up topics? Why would Miss Impax want to kill herself? She was going to get married. Well, that's because she was thrown away, you see, by Juan. What? But they were going to get married, right? They promised each other, right? They held a grand announcement session, but 3 days later, Juan suddenly canceled their marriage. Is that true? It was in the weekly magazines. But why? Why did he do that? That was not in the magazines, unfortunately. Of course it wouldn't be. I see. That night after Juan called off the wedding, that manager Celeste killed herself. How terrible. I wonder what happened between those two. Who knows? Who cares? We'll do that later. We gotta move. Oh, God, it's never fun talking to you. On that night, there must have been at least a few hundred people here. I guess the police are done with their questioning and investigating. It looks like things here in the lobby have finally calmed down. I go to the Criminal Affairs Department just for a quick stop. It feels sort of tense in here, doesn't it, Mr. Nick? Yeah, it does. I wonder if something happened. You're Mr. Engarde's lawyer, right? Yes, sir. Well, we finally found just the person we've been looking for. A real decisive witness. A decisive witness? You mean for Mr. Engarde's case? We're taking the witness's testimony right now. A statement. Gotta hand it over to Mr. Edgeworth. What's Edgeworth up to now? Who is this witness? I think you know this person quite well, Mr. Lawyer. Mr. Nick? Between the kidnapper's demand and now this, I can't see any way to win here. Oh yeah, Mr. Edgeworth wanted me to tell you something. He did? Even though visiting hours are long over at the detention center, he wanted me to grant you special permission, so there you go. Yeah. I've already called them, so they know. Go on, go talk to your heart's content. Thank you very much. This is such good news, Mr. Nick. Go talk to your heart's content. Sounds like the police are pretty sure they have tomorrow's trial in the bag. Oh, they do, don't you worry, right? They do. I'm sure they must have transferred Miss Andrews here by now, so that means that both Mr. Engarde and Miss Andrews are in this detention center. Now then, whose story do I want to hear? Well, let's start with Adrian and then go to Mongard. Sup, baby? Oh, it's you. I'm sorry to be visiting at such a late hour, but there are a few questions I absolutely have to ask you tonight. Me? I thought your client was Matt. I'm sure Miss Andrews knows something. She can't be clueless about this secret Mr. Rita had on Mr. On Guard. I'd like to ask you about Matt On Guard, if you don't mind. Mr. Wright, you still don't know, do you? The real him, I mean? You seem to bear a lot of resentment towards Mr. On Guard. If that's the case, then why did you become his manager? And why would you become intimate with his rival? That has nothing to do with this case. Nothing. Okay. Sorry. About Miss Celestine Bax. I had finally put her death behind me, and now, thanks to you, it's all come back to the surface. I'm sorry. Yes, I was shocked by her suicide, and it's true that when I had heard the rumor that Juan was the one who had hidden her suicide note, I began to draw close to him. I wanted to get her suicide note back, and to burn it. You wanted to burn it? But why? I didn't want it to spread like just another piece of gossip. But I never held any murderous intent towards Juan. I would never do such something so stupid. A suicide note, huh? Wonder what it said. Why frame him, my girl? Why did you try to frame Mr. On Guard? That's simple, because he's the killer, that's why. Isn't it the duty of every good citizen to inform the police? You went with a very, roundabout way of doing it. But there had to be another way. The police are excellent at doing their job, so they'd figure it out, right? Yes, they're so good that they couldn't figure out the real truth behind Celeste's death. Miss Andrews. Well, I know you're not the type of person to do something without a reason, so please, tell me why you did what you did. Revenge. Huh? Did you say something just now? She's a liar. Don't you understand yet? You're not my lawyer. To be honest, you're more like my enemy. But I'm sure I just heard Miss Andrews say, revenge? Yeah? Okay. I don't think we can do anything with her. No! Damn it. Can't do anything with her. We'll have to leave and come back and then talk to On Guard. Oh, Mr. Wright, please, you have to help me. Oh. Mr. Powers. What happened? Why are you here? You see, I got roped into this somehow. What? And now I'm going to testify at tomorrow's trial. So the decisive witness is Mr. Powers? I was talking with the detective until a little while ago, and I was all on my way home, when all of a sudden, you there! You're under arrest, and I was brought back here. Oh. They said my face and whole self in general looked suspicious or something. Well, I guess I can see how they thought you looked suspicious. I'm just a normal guy on an exercise show for kids. Is that a crime? Yeah, yes. So, about this testimony you're giving, what are you going to talk about? I really don't know yet, but it sounds like I saw something pretty important from what they tell me. You saw something important? What was it? Well, the detective told me not to talk about it. You can't tell anyone, especially not that lawyer, he said. Who do you think is that lawyer the detective was talking about? I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's me. Yeah, you got it. Mr. Nick, Mystic Maya and myself are your only two allies in the whole world, but it's alright. Ouch, I don't really have a lot of friends, do I? Oh, poor Phoenix, don't worry. I won't be her friend. This is going to do a lot of damage to Matt, you know? Because he's got that refreshing like a spring breeze image going. But what is he really like? Well, let's see. Matt's always been kind of a player with women. And he would never really turn a pretty face away, if you know what I mean. He'd always say it's just a game to justify himself. What? How horrible. That's unforgivable. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. But I know he said once that there's only one person in the world who won't swoon over me. One person who wouldn't swoon over him? His manager, you know, Miss Adrian Andrews. Why is Mr. Power suddenly looking kind of energetic? Stop looking at his dick. Oh, you see, I'm actually a sucker for gossip. I mean, celebrities in their world have this dazzling sort of image, right? A dazzling sort of image? But aren't you a part of that dazzle, Mr. Powers? No, I'm more of a hairy, sweaty, smelly, brutish kind of guy, you see. But it's okay, really. I get to hear plenty of gossip about a lot of the other stars around me as things happen. Well, that's true. Oh, hey. So did you hear about this yet? About Miss Andrews' mentor and her suicide? Yes, we know. You mean Miss Ann Pax. We heard something about how her wedding was cancelled. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I thought about it a little the other day, about that mysterious death. Hey, Mr. Wright, why don't you ask me about that? Go on, go ahead. Mr. Powers is so charged up his skin is practically glowing with electricity. Hey, so have you heard this? Celeste left a suicide. Yes, we know. And they say that Juan went and hit it. Yes, we know. We heard about that in court today. But there wasn't any actual proof that she had left a note. Well, this is what I think. I think that something bad was written on that note. Something bad for Juan, that is. Something bad for Mr. Kurita? Why do you figure so? Well, before she died, Celeste had talked with a few of her friends. And she said, it looks like I may have been caught by an insidious man. I don't even know what the fuck voice I'm doing right now. An insidious man, did she mean Mr. Kurita by that? Well, there's no one else that fits the bill, right? And that would be the reason enough for him to hide the suicide note. I see. Well, that's some good info. Thank you. You're welcome. Mr. On Guard and Ms. Andrews are both at the detention center right now. There's still things I don't understand or know about, I'm sure. I have to get the two of them to tell me everything. Okay. Now we move back. Gotta talk to Matt. Ah, sup, dude? Dude, it's Mr. Wright. I hope you can get me off the hook tomorrow. I'm counting on you. I hope so too. Edgeworth just dropped a bombshell on me and said that Juan Kurita was killed by an assassin, and that assassin's client is this man, Matt On Guard. What's wrong? Mr. On Guard, there's something I must know with 100% certainty. You seem kinda different. You're totally not like your usual lawyer dude self. Come on, dude. About the press conference? You mean the one where Juan was gonna dress up as the Nickel Samurai? Yeah, I heard a little more about it from Miss Andrews. It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it was gonna destroy Matt's acting career. Could you please fill me in on what that secret is, please? Nope, apparently not. 5-star lock. That's cool. Knew this was coming. Mr. Nick, don't tell me. A psych lock. You said a secret, right? But you don't have any idea what it is, do you, dude? Nope. How about Juan and Adrian? What do you know about them? Did you know about Mr. Kurita and Miss Andrews' relationship? Well, it's all over the tabloids, dude. Ah, but I don't know any of the details, if that's what you mean. Look, how many times do I have to tell you? I don't care what Juan did with his life. Miss Andrews, she had a purpose in mind when she started seeing Mr. Kurita. Her mentor was Mr. Corita's manager, and Miss Andrews was going to get Miss Celeste Impact's suicide note from him. Celeste? Does that jog any memories? Yeah, she died in a fire. Oh, wait, wrong one. Sorry. Dude, I suddenly just got totally hungry. You up for a pizza? My treat. Mr. Nick, what's a pizza? Is it a kind of pea? Like green peas? Let's go eat one later, okay? I got cut off by the pizza dude at the shop. That's too bad. Well, how about we go get our minds off of this topic and talk about something else, okay? Mr. On Guard, are you connected to Miss Impact's suicide in some way? Ooh, who knows? But we still can't do anything, so we gotta leave this did here and go somewhere. We gotta go here, right? Yeah, I'm doing it. All fine and dandy now. Mr. Nick, your phone. I don't like the sound of this ringtone right now. It sounds kind of ominous. It's probably just your imagination. You should really pick it up, Mr. Nick. It could be important. Hello? We've got a big problem, pal. What's wrong? I'm on my way to your office right now. Okay. Hey, wait a sec. Why is he coming here? It's terrible. I don't know what to say, pal. It's the end of it. Oh, I got here faster than I thought. Hey. No time to relax now, pal. I'm confused as anything here. Well, what happened? We got him. We know who bought that spy camera. This quickly? And this bear's what gave him them away, pal. The bear? I figured it out, pal. I figured that we should have been looking into the bear instead of the camera. Wasn't that Mr. Edgeworth that figured... Shh, Pearls. And he's very proud of himself right now, Pearls. Don't take this away from him. And? Go on. There's only one person who bought one of those bears who's related to this crime. Who is it? Who would be so rude as to spy on another person in their room? Matt On Guard. Huh? Matt On Guard. Your client. That's who, pal. And here I thought things couldn't get any worse. Man. Are you sure you heard right? That the person who bought this bear was... I heard it from the department store clerk, pal. This is the credit card receipt for the purchase. It's for $3,008. Jesus fucking Christ, that's an expensive bear. That's an exact match to the price of that stuffed bear. A receipt? That's all you have? No, it's not just the receipt, pal. The store clerk said so himself. He told me I'm sure I sold that bear to Mr. On Guard. I mean, the clerk even got Mr. On Guard's autograph out of it, pal. So I'm sure the person that bought the stuffed bear was Mr. On Guard himself. My sight is failing me. This can't be. It's a lot to take in. Your entire case is crumbling before you. So what about the spy camera we found? Oh, that was a dead end, pal. I mean, you can get this kind of thing from anywhere, but for now, I guess I can give these back to you for you to file away into evidence. Thanks. Don't know why you ran off with it in the first place. I know you don't want to give up, pal. I never thought. I didn't think it was possible. The person who put the spy camera in Juan Corita's room was Matt On Guard. Why would Mr. On Guard do something like this? I bet it was to catch Miss Andrews and Mr. Corita in one of their rendezvous. I bet it's not good enough for me. I have to know the absolute truth behind this camera. Are you going to see him? Mr. On Guard, I mean. Yes. Gumshoe, you need to leave. You're destroying me. I'm scared, Mr. Nick. I wonder what we will find out next. I'm scared myself, but I have to put on a good face for Pearls. Matt On Guard, what in the world have you done? Oh, alright. Let's get out of here and get back to the detention center. You're working really late, you know. It's already past 10 p.m., dude. I think it's time you told me the truth. Relax. Don't you know ignorance is bliss? But if you really want to know, let's talk. Yeah, let's talk. Let me just shine this in your face. Even though I don't think it shines in your face. I think that's only a trick for me. I don't know. Now let's hear what this secret of yours is. What if Mr. Kurita had been successful in his plan? What would he have disclosed? I told you before, dude, I don't know. I don't know anything about Juan, okay? Look, Mr. Wright, I can't keep on saying it until I'm blue. I can keep on saying it till I'm blue in the face, but I totally didn't pay Juan any attention the whole time that night. I mean, come on, I was in the middle of a nap. Don't lie to me. Huh? I know you paid close attention to Mr. Kurita, especially on that night. Think you can do either the spy camera or the transmitter? We'll go spy camera since that's obvious. Someone used this camera to secretly film Mr. Kurita's room the night of the murder. Secretly film? What? And then sent the images the camera took with this transmitter. Wow, but dude, where was this camera you're talking about hidden? Inside the bear. The spy camera was hidden in this bear's eye. A bear that was supposed to be a present from a fan. I guess Juan had a few of those kinds of fans too, huh, dude? Actually, I wouldn't say this bear was a present from a fan. Huh, you sure did? Who else could it be from? The person who gave this bear to Mr. Kurita was... Gotta do Matt's profile, right? Yeah. Mr. On Guard, don't you know this bear from somewhere? I don't think I've ever met Mr. Bear before, dude. But he says he knows you. How could he forget such a great friend? What else did the bear tell you? He says that the one who put the camera in his eye was you, Mr. On Guard. If I didn't know how you work in court, I'd think I was in serious trouble. Come on, this is all a joke, right, dude? Just pulling my leg. Looks like you're not ready to give up on your secret yet. Well, do you have any proof you want me to show first? Here's proof that it was you who put the camera inside the bear. Credit card receipt. Ow. I have here one credit card receipt, Mr. On Guard. It's from when you bought that stuffed bear. Dude, all you can tell from this is that I spent $3,800. I go to that department store all the time, okay? It's $3,800. This could be the toothbrush I bought that one time. You must have really good teeth for $3,800. A $3,800 toothbrush. It's ivory, and it's got elephant hair for You're sticking dudes in your mouth, dude? Ew, elephant hair? Is that what rich people use nowadays? Anyway, the store clerk clearly remembers you and your purchase. After all, you even gave him an autograph, did you not? Did? You should have said that earlier. So can I ask you one thing? Yes. You're my lawyer, right, dude? So if you are, then why are you looking at stuff like that? Because if I don't know the truth, I can't help you. Sounds more like stupid lawyer talk to me. Hey, let's stop talking about this, okay? No, not yet. I haven't asked why you set the camera up yet. And what your secret is, of course. It would be strictly confidential. So, what are you going to do now? I'm going to find out what I want to know, because I must. The reason you hid this camera in Mr. Kurita's room and filmed it in secret is... I don't know. Or, was it because of... this? What is this card? Maybe he doesn't know about this card. This is a certain man's calling card. The man's name is Shelly the Killer, and I'm sure you know of him, don't you? Shelly the Killer? That's ridiculous. Why would I know some shady scumbag like him? If you really don't know him, then why are you acting so jumpy all of a sudden? This is it. I'm finally starting to get to the truth. I can't afford to make any more mistakes now. Mr. Matt on Guard, I know why you know Mr. D. Killer. It's because you're a hero of justice. You're his client, and you're a star. Yes. It's because you're a star, that's why you know this assassin nobody else knows. Since you're the one who set up that camera, that means you knew. You knew exactly what was going to happen in that room. So how? How would you know something like that? It's because you're his client, that's why. You hired Shelley D. Killer to assassinate Mr. Juan Corrida. The real mastermind behind this whole murder is you, Matt on Guard. And here I was, trying to be a good boy for you, dude. I thought if you didn't know, you'd be able to do your job without feeling bad. Well, that's what I thought, anyway. Mr. On Guard, you really did hire. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna consult myself, okay? Consult myself? Well, I guess it's probably about time anyway. About time for what? I think it's time for you to meet him now, Mr. Lawyer Dude. That was easy. How do you know? How do you do, Mr. Lawyer? I'm Matt on Guard. Where'd you get the chocolate milk? Well done, Mr. Wright. I bet it wasn't easy to gather as much information as you have. You really... So you were Shelley D. Killer's client. You don't really think I would dirty my own hands like this, do you? What do you mean? And that woman, Adrian, was quite brave herself, trying to stick the crime on me. I didn't think she had it in her. But all I care about is that Juan is dead. Isn't that right, Mr. Lawyer? You're lying. What a terrible... It's way past your bedtime, little girl. Go on and let us grown-ups talk about more adult things. But why? Why did you hide the video camera and... A weakling soon believes the words of others, just like that pathetic Adrian. He knew about Miss Andrews' secret? But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. What? Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. They turn their clients into cash cows by holding the sinful deed over their heads. And a superstar like me, how much do you think I'm worth? Care to guess? And that's why. Yes, that's where the video comes in. It's got his face and the crime scene recorded on it, preserved for all time. With that, I can keep him at bay, and even blackmail him if I want. That's right, that video is my insurance. Isn't that what they call it, Mr. Wright? Why would you do something so wrong? Because I'm a grown-up, and I can. Good enough an answer for you, little girl? You know I like you, Matt. Why? Why would you kill Mr. Corrida? Because he was about to sling so much dung onto my beautiful public image. Scandals are a little annoying, aren't they? This is all because of that press conference, isn't it? If Mr. Corrida had been able to give it, then Mr. On Guard's secret would have... Ah, well, that's what we call taking advantage of the situation, you know? I had no interest in doing it, really. But bit by bit, it crept up on me. And then the situation just presented itself perfectly. How beautiful, I thought. And that's how Mr. Corrida ended up dead. Let me tell you something, I'm not like Adrian. I don't depend on anyone. People are simply things to be used and thrown away. Put on a sweet innocent face and people will swallow anything you feed them. Adrian fell for it, the assassin too. Oh, and how can I forget? Even you fell for it, Mr. Lawyer. Everyone, all working their butts off for me, Matt on Guard. Oh, did that leave you speechless? What a shame. What's wrong, Mr. Lawyer? You've grown awfully quiet. How could I have been so deceived by you all this time? When we first met, I asked if you had killed Juan Corrida, and you answered very clearly that you hadn't killed anyone. Hey, now, I never told you any lies. The person who did the killing was that D-Killer guy, right? All I'm guilty of is taking a cat nap in my room. You killed Mr. Corrida. I dare you say that in court tomorrow. Oh, but too bad. You can't. You're my lawyer after all, aren't you? You could always drop my case and refuse to represent me. How does that sound? Oh, but you can't, can you? That would be the one thing you absolutely can't do. Mystic Maya. You wouldn't want to test D-Killer. He's a man of his word, or so I hear. You could end up getting a certain friend of yours rubbed out if you lose. You scoundrel. So if I were you, Mr. Wright, Esquire, I think I would give it up my all tomorrow. Remember, everyone likes a happy win-win resolution. I'll get you for this. That's such a cliché phrase. Juan said something just like that, if memory serves. Of course, well, we all know how well things turned out for him, don't we? Good night, Mr. Lawyer. I mean, you know, the police officer right there, he didn't see nothing. He's asleep. Maya, what am I supposed to do? And now you finally found it. Hello. Why do you keep doing that? You gotta stop scaring me, Edgeworth. The starting line of this case. Edgeworth, I don't care for the horrid atmosphere here. Let's return to the precinct. Well, right, what are you going to do if you plan on changing your defense? No, we can't do that. That's right, he's holding my hostage. What should I do? That's not something I can answer for you. Mr. Edgeworth. Right, only you can decide where to go from here. 1 year ago, at that time, I didn't truly understand what a prosecutor was, and that is why I had to leave the prosecutor's office. I felt that I couldn't stand in a court of law until I knew what a prosecutor really was. And now, right, it's your turn. My turn? What is this thing called a lawyer? What can you do as one? You must find the answer, and you must find it on your own. Help me out, Edgeworth. I don't understand your cryptic bullshit. I'm a lawyer, as you would say, but to fight for someone who is clearly a killer, and on guard, and man is really... It doesn't matter who, every person deserves a proper defense and a fair trial. Isn't that the basis of our judicial system? Proper defense? What exactly is that? Is it where a lawyer forcibly and blindly gets an acquittal through shouting and trickery? Ironic that you, of all people, should say such a thing. Isn't that exactly how you fought for your clients up until now? Well, that may be true, but that's because I've believed my clients to be innocent from the bottom of my heart. But if I were to get on guard and acquittal, that isn't a proper defense at all. I became a lawyer because I thought I could save people who were suffering and in pain. But when I look at this mess we're in, I can't even protect the person closest to me. Even if I win the case, I still lose in the end. I just don't know what to do. Right. I'm sorry. Voice cracked. Would you get a hold of yourself? You have it all wrong. Huh? We aren't some sort of heroes. We're only human, you and I. You want to save someone? That's something easier said than done, wouldn't you say? You're a defense lawyer. You can't run away from that. You can only fight. That's all you can do. But why should I fight? Even when my knuckles are dirty and bloody and broken, should I still fight? People like you and Franziska von Karma are always using all you have to pin me down. You fight to the very end, even when you know the truth is not with you. But I'm not like you. I can't fight for a false verdict, for a man I clearly know to be guilty. Franziska, she fights for herself. The only thing she fights for is a perfect win record. That's all. And, isn't that the same for you? Isn't that why you ran away a year ago? Because your precious win record was destroyed? You're so petty. I see. I understand why you despise me so. However, you are mistaken. What are you? Thanks to you, when you sealed off my path to a perfect win record, I began to realize the error of my ways. I realized that things such as a perfect record were meaningless. Eh? Nani? I don't believe you. Are you saying that is why you left the prosecutor's office? But then why? Why are you here now? The answer to that is something you will find out on your own. I have faith you'll see it before the verdict is read tomorrow. But if you can't, then you'll be powerless to change the ending of this story. Mr. Nick, the transceiver. I'm sorry for what happened earlier. Well then, Mr. Attorney, do you wager you can obtain an acquittal tomorrow? My, what is the matter, Mr. Attorney? I don't sense your usual anger this time. Tell me, please. Why are you holding Maya hostage for Mr. Engarde's sake? Why are you doing this for that cold-blooded killer? Right. Please don't misunderstand things. He is my client. Don't toy with me! A man who hires an assassin is just as much of a killer himself. I believe you're asking me for a reason as to why I'm doing what I am. Yeah. This is what I like to call my aftercare. What the heck is aftercare? My name carries a certain amount of honor and dignity, Mr. Attorney. I take great care to ensure that no suspicion falls upon my clients for my hard handiwork. That is what is called client relations, and is part of an assassin's duty. An assassin's duty. We were unlucky this time, and my client was arrested as a suspect. As a result, I did what I had to do to enlist your expert help, Mr. Attorney, and to ensure that you would do everything in your power to the very end. What is your name? I believe I told you once before, however, you did, but my name is DeKiller. Shelley DeKiller. You're Shelley DeKiller. Please keep in mind you do not have much space to maneuver with me. As a DeKiller, I always finish what I set out to do. If you fail to keep up your end of the bargain, Maya, it would be my duty as an assassin to see to it she receives a nice long nap. Now then, if you'll excuse me, if someone were to trace this signal back to me, it would be quite troublesome. Mr. Meyer. I don't know what to say. Edgeworth. Did you hear that? At the end of that transmission. Huh? Oh, that. It sounded like a cat. A cat? It can't be. That cat. Can it? What is it? I know where Shelley DeKiller is holding Maya hostage. Edgeworth, have all police units head for the on-guard mansion immediately. Alright, you hurry over as well then. Don't lose hope yet, Pearls. The fight has only just begun. Yeah. Alright. Now we're moving at the pace I like to see. Now it just comes down to me getting to the oh right, I have to go to the hotel lobby first. Well, that sucked everything out, right? Oh, Maya. Please answer us, Mystic Maya. We have this area completely surrounded. There's no way for him to escape. assuming he's still in the area. I can't believe it. That butler. All this time, he was the killer. They and On Guard were working together all this time. I'm sure they had worked out a contingency plan ahead of time. Alright, let's examine this, bear. Oh, it's a figurine of a bear. But there are a lot of cuts in it for some reason. A bear? Isn't that more of a thing for Mr. Kurita? Why would something like this be here? Right, look down. There's a little pet door installed here. Ah, I'm sure that's for Shu. Do you think that this came through that little door? This door, it's locked. Well, I'm pretty used to breaking doors down by now. Let's go, Edgeworth. Why didn't you just send Pearl, sir? I'm sure she's small enough. There's no one here. From the looks of this room, I would say this is On Guard's private lounge. Look at this right. An antenna for sending and receiving radio signals and a VCR. Check inside the deck. If there's a tape, it would be an important piece of evidence. If we're lucky, it'll have the moment the crime was committed recorded on it. I'm sorry, but the tape deck is empty. There's no tape to be found. No. But there's no mistake that someone used this to record something. Looks like someone took the tape we're looking for and escaped with it. I don't think we can examine anything from here. Gotta go to the wine cellar. Maya! Oh, well, you're not here. We searched all over, but it looks like he got away. I'm sorry. It looks like he slipped out of our grasp this time. And now, we've lost our only lead. Don't give up don't give up yet. That little girl is looking to you to be her pillar. Yeah, you're right. We're close, I can tell. We've already set up checkpoints all along every route leading out of this district. Leave the rest to us. Maya. Oi, what's this? What's all this then? What's this picture? This looks like a picture of Miss Impax. With love, Celeste. Miss Impax? You mean? Yes, Mr. Kurita's former manager. Why would a picture of Miss Impax be here at Mr. On Guard's mansion? And why does it say with love? This might be a clue. Ah! What's wrong, Pearls? Please let me see that picture frame. Huh? What's so special about the frame? On the back. There's something written on the back of the frame. Maya. It's Mystic Maya. She left us a message. What? I thought you'd come. I knew you would. Now listen up. You'd better get On Guard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag and not guilty, I'll never forgive you. Ever. I'm fine, so you don't need to worry. There's so much I want to write, but I don't think I have a lot of time left. Pearly, you're there too, right? Make sure you help Nick, okay? Someone's gotta watch out for the helpless lunk. Well, that's it for now, Nick. I guess I'll talk to you guys later. Oh, Maya. You're the best girl. Right. What's wrong? Why the blank stare? Oh, nothing. We've searched the house, and this is the last room. Looks like he's eluded us. Edgeworth. Yes. As far as clues go, I think this is about all I'm going to get. Though I'm still short one last thing. And what is that? Miss Andrews' psych lock. If I could just find out what secret she's holding, then I think I can stand a chance in court tomorrow to blow this case wide open and expose the truth. I think I know what you're thinking. I'll contact the detention center. Thanks, Edgeworth. Now let's go, Pearls. It's time to open that last lock. Good evening, Mr. Wright. Why do you keep waking me up? What's wrong? You look ill. Miss Andrews, I've come to remove your psych lock. Psych lock? I want to know, and you will tell me your secret. Fine, go ahead. Try to break me if you can. Oh, you have no idea how much I'm going to break you. I'll use Franny's whip. It'll be easy peasy. Can you please tell me why you framed Mr. On Guard for the murder? I've already told you countless times it's because I thought Matt was the killer. No, that's not it. I know you have a personal reason to dislike Mr. On Guard. Miss Andrews, you may think I didn't hear it, but I know you said something earlier. You said revenge. So you were saying So you are saying I was taking my revenge out on Matt, and that's why? What an absurd idea. I don't have anything I want to take revenge for. Miss Andrews, a woman who lives by being dependent on another person. There is something or someone in her past that would make her take revenge. Well, obviously that would be Miss Celeste Impax. There you are. Celeste. There's only one catalyst that could cause such strong feelings and even revenge. That is Miss Impax's suicide. What are you trying to say? Celeste was Juan's manager. On top of that, the one who hit her suicide note was also Juan. What does all this have to do with Matt? You're right. You haven't mentioned him yet. But for you to hate Mr. On Guard, it would mean that he must have had some relation to Miss Impax and her suicide. Can you explain to me this relation between Celeste and Matt? Yeah, sure, whatever. I can do that. I got a thing here. I got a photo for you. Just let me fumble around in my pockets for a second. This is a photo of Miss Impax, correct? She looks younger than when she passed away, though. With love, Celeste. This is Miss Impax's handwriting, isn't it? Where did you find this? No, that's all right. It was a rhetorical question. Yeah, it is. I found this at Mr. On Guard's mansion. And after all this time, my last remaining secret has been revealed. Spread out to the open. Celeste, she was supposed to get married to Juan. Yes, but I heard that it didn't work out. Because Mr. Kurita didn't want to get married to her anymore, right? Yes, because of Matt. But because of Mr. On Guard? What do you mean? I think I can see where this is going. Celeste, she was Matt's manager a long time ago. She was the happiest woman in the world at that time. I was working part-time back then, and often I saw the two of them together. So that's why. With love, Celeste is written on the frame of that picture. They were a couple, weren't they? It wasn't anything as splendid as that. Celeste was being used. Toyed with until she was thrown away. That's so horrible. Matt's entire image is built around how nice and wonderful of a man he is. A scandal would have destroyed that. Which is why Celeste and her kindness moved over to Worldwide Studios. That is where she met Juan. She seemed really happy with him, even happier than when she was with Matt. Celeste and Juan were such a good match that they were even planning to get married. And then it was suddenly called off. On the night Juan called their marriage off, Celeste, she killed herself. And that's why I framed Matt, as revenge for Celeste and for myself. I'm sure even you can guess why Juan called the wedding off, right? Matt confessed to Juan about his relationship with Celeste. I see, so that's what happened. But why did Mr. Kurita have to call off the wedding? I don't understand at all. It was probably because of his worthless male pride. Juan and Matt were always fierce rivals. Matt waited for the wedding announcement and then unleashed the truth on Juan. He was aiming for when it would hurt Juan the most. Poor Ms. Impax. That wasn't the end of it. That day, I'm almost certain that Celeste left a suicide note behind. And in that note, she left a detailed account of Matt's various misdeeds, and, so that she would never again be hurt by Matt, she chose to die. Then, when Juan discovered her body, he hid her note. But why would he do that? It's simple. Juan realized that note was a powerful weapon against Matt, and it would be especially damaging to his refreshing like a spring breeze image. In any case, with his pride hurt, Juan sought revenge. Revenge. There's that word again. Juan wanted to publicly disclose the contents of that suicide note. At a time that would cause Matt the most damage, of course. And that was at the press conference after the stage show. I know all about it because I heard it all from Juan. It was so I could find out about all this that I drew close to Juan to begin with. They're quite a pair of hideous monsters, aren't they? Even Celeste's death was something for them to use in their game. That night when I found Juan's body, it was only natural that I thought the murderer was Matt. Those two were always spying on one another, after all. As for me, I was frantically searching for Celeste's suicide note. I wanted to destroy it before it ever went public. I was going to burn it, I had even brought a lighter. But I couldn't find the suicide note. That's when revenge crossed my mind. Yes, I was going to bring them my own kind of cruel revenge. Celeste was killed by those two monsters, so when I stabbed Juan's body with that knife, I didn't feel a single shred of guilt. And that's all I have to say. Well, Mr. Wright, even knowing all this, are you still going to help that man? I'm a lawyer. I see. What a foul profession. Thank you very much for your time and for talking with me. It was no big deal. I couldn't sleep anyway. I can't sleep either, not with my situation, or with what I know now.